Today is an unbelievable day. Like a proud father who gets to watch his kid walk down the aisle at graduation. Actually, let's be honest. That's not impressive anymore. Like if I was a father and my kid was walking down the aisle at graduation, I'd be like, all right. I would treat it no different than like going to his soccer game or something, because I know that you know a bunch of people who have graduated from college, and you know who they are. You grew up with them. And graduating from college is not the most impressive feat anymore. Look around you. When you go out around today, that guy who's driving in front of you in the left lane, and he doesn't realize that he's just slowing up traffic and everyone has to swerve around him, he graduated from college. So it's not that impressive of a feat. But what is an impressive feat is so many of you people who have had to use public transportation since you found my videos. Many of you, after this past weekend, have yourselves a new car! It's the Price is Right on the Patreon this past weekend, because everybody smashed. It was a 24-hour run of epic proportions, and everybody let the people know in the comments what car you currently have, because I was experimenting with this new style, a new variation of the line mate 2+ point bets. I obviously always tried to give ones with super high payouts. You never see me give McDavid and Draisaitl or anything like that. Usually you see me give a Thomas and Buchnevich plus 1,100. But sometimes when you have two line mates, it's just not worth it. So what I've been doing, I've been taking the uncorrelated line mates. So for you people out there with half of a brain, you should know what I'm talking about. And in the case of Vegas, if you put Eichel with Marchessault for 2+ points each, yeah, that's like plus 800 or something like that. But if you take the uncorrelated line mate, meaning the guy who's not on the same power play as them, for one assist, it brings it up to plus, was it plus 2,200? No, yeah, it was plus 2,200. So you went from plus 800 to plus 2,200 just by adding that assist. Now, my mind said, okay, if both of them are hitting the 2+, unless they both come on the power play, which I guess there's a chance, but Barbashev is also on that second power play, so he can get that assist on his own if he needs so. Well, guess what happened? He got the assist. Both of them got the 2 points. That was a hit. Very next day, I'm doing the same exact thing with Carolina. We did 2 points for Svechnikov, 2 points for Aho, and the assist for Teravainen, the uncorrelated third best player on the line, just to get an assist. It brought that bet that between Aho and Svechnikov, it would have been plus 550. It brought it to plus 1,400, essentially an extra plus 1,000. What are the odds that both of those guys are hitting their 2 points each? Like I said, the only way that could happen without Teravainen, they both have to come on the power play. But even if they did come on the power play, which they didn't, Teravainen is on the second power play and he can get that assist on his own. That one hit as well. Go forward to the Islander game, same type of thing with Nelson, Horvat. You add an assist, brought it up to like plus 1,200, plus 13. We were nailing all over the place with the props. Clayton Keller, trickle down snakeonomics. You know who his center is? Because he's got Schmaltz on the other wing. Yeah, you throw Hayton and him in a 2+ pointer. That was plus 1,800. It was major raking. And from what I understand in the Ruckus chat, there are many of you who currently have your car. So I am thrilled to see it, happy to know it. And now we are on to Monday, where we have 4 games on this slate right here. And I guess you guys know where I want to start. What worked out best for us last week? Saturday was all unders. You name it, it was an under. And I see 2 unders that I like, but they're not your standard variety of unders. They're the remixed kind, the bump it up unders, and we're going to start there in Boston. Boston, we've been taking unders with them recently. As soon as I saw them hold Toronto to 1, Edmonton, let's be honest, to 0 until there were 30 seconds left, and then Toronto to 1 once again. Stella got his groove back, and that defense is playing like you would hope, and their goaltending is giving them the performances that you would hope if you're betting unders. Well, now they got St. Louis coming into town. How they been doing on offense? Oh, they got shut out in the last game? What about before that? Oh, they scored 1 in the game before that? What about before that? 2? Okay, and then before that, 1, 2. Okay, they haven't scored more than 2 goals in like a week and a half or something like that. I think they're 0-4. Now, they were able to sneak that 2-1 overtime win against Philly, but they're not playing great. A big problem with them, when that Thomas, Buchnevich, Kyrou line isn't producing, they don't get a lot of production up and down that lineup. So they're going into Boston. Boston is still, they're on Florida's heels. You know, that 1 seed is open. The President's Trophy is open. Most people don't think they're going to end up with it, but it doesn't mean that these games aren't all going to be important, because when you see Florida rarely losing, you can't lose a game either. We saw this in the final month of the season last year. Do you guys remember Colorado, Dallas, that race? The teams never lost. I swear to you, nobody could pull ahead. Nobody could get away. The teams just never lost. And then Edmonton and Vegas, go look at their final. The teams never lost. And it's because these teams really do value having home ice, you know, especially once you get to like rounds 2 and 3 of the playoffs. So I'm hoping we can use some of that to our advantage in those races where teams are within a point or two. And there are a couple of those on the slate tonight. And in this Boston game, I'm bumping it up to under 6.5. St. Louis isn't scoring. Boston's defending well. Unless it's a true Boston beating, which, you know, it can happen. Boston, they scored quite a few goals in these last couple of games. But I'm going to go with the under 6.5 there. And then I will also do the Boston in regulation under 7.5 goals for plus money. And we can literally copy and paste and take this over to Winnipeg, where you guys know that I really like them on their own home ice. I don't like them as much on the road. I gave Vancouver as a pick on Saturday because Winnipeg was playing back-to-backs, and Vancouver, another Stella who got his groove back, had a couple wins in a row, 3 road wins in a row, then came home, and they waxed Winnipeg. Now, Winnipeg's coming back to their own home ice. I don't know. Tyler Toffoli didn't play in the last game. Is this the visa thing? What's going on here? I would imagine that he plays in this one. And I would think Winnipeg against Washington. Kudos to Washington. They're like, you ever see the Mortal Kombat movie, the really corny one, where Goro is just holding on to the edge of that cliff with his 3 Jason Pierre-Paul fingers, and eventually Johnny Cage goes,
"Shouldn't have bought those fireworks, Pierre-Paul."
Washington's holding on for dear life, but in this game, Winnipeg, who look at their race with Colorado and Dallas. Dallas doesn't lose. Colorado doesn't lose. And Winnipeg needs to fend them off, hold on, and win this game. So I'm also going to go with the bump it up under 6.5 there.
And tell Amy Schumer she's next.
Washington's been scoring, but if they're going to win, if Washington's going to win, typically they have to be low-scoring games. They just beat the crap out of the Penguins and the Blackhawks. But what got lost in those games is they scored a lot early and then were able to shut it down in the second half of the game. That's the part that I'm more interested in. So it doesn't mean just because they scored those goals, they're looking to trade chances. They still will play. So if they do go up in this game for whatever reason, I like to know that they're going to try to hold on and not try to go crazy back and forth. There's also, the Hellebuck factor, Winnipeg on their own home ice, but the under 6.5. Copy and paste those Boston bets. Then I'll take Winnipeg in 60, under 7.5. That is plus money, just like the Boston one. Then in some of the other games, those New York Islanders who won us all mountains of money yesterday, they are playing LA. So they played last night. Look, they won by a lot, but it's not like they were dominating the play out there. They've won 6 in a row, and now they're going to take on LA. And there's a reason I think it's minus 166. I think LA is a bad matchup for this Islander team. It's hard to bet against these Islanders just because they've won 6 in a row. They have that confidence. They put the line together of Horvat, Nelson, Barzal. I think I've mentioned that to you guys. And they are raking up points. And weirdly, the second line has been played really well and is giving them production. I'm talking about Pajot, Lee, Palmieri. Palmieri's been tearing it up. But if you look even further, a guy that some people hate betting against him because he always seems to register points. when many people bet against him. I don't let things like that faze me. I'm looking at the New York Islanders playing a team who are very good on defense. And if Barzal was at 1.5 points, I would take the under. You guys know I love having that extra point to work with. But give me Pierre Engvall under 0.5 point, and then give me the over 2.5 goals for the LA Kings. I think the LA Kings are going to win, but it's just not smart betting against a team that's won 6 in a row. They tend to find ways. I don't think I'm going to take that over, but I want the under 0.5 point for Pierre Engvall, and if you combine that with the Kings, over 2.5 goals, that's a slight plus money bet. Hey, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? You got to really go get some thin deli slices when you're dealing with defensive teams. You can't just start going crazy. As I tell people with the 2+ point player prop combos, I'm shocked every time I say that without stuttering. I look for the right game environments. This is a very difficult game. Yes, do I want to take Horvat and Barzal and Nelson because they've been so hot? Of course I'm tempted, but we cashed out big time on them last night because they were playing the Ducks. Game before that, playing the Sharks. No one to hold them, no one to fold them. A lot of good defensive teams on the ice tonight, which the New Jersey Devils aren't. But I will tell you this. You guys know how trickle-down snakeonomics work, okay? Hayton got 2 points with Keller and Schmaltz. Granted, was against Chicago. Here, we got the Rangers and the Devils. Who are the 2 best offensive players on the Devils? All season long, when you're looking at player props, who's fetching the highest minus? Let's just assume everybody's point prop is at 0.5. Who has the highest? Right? Well, obviously one is Jack Hughes, and the other is Jesper Bratt. They're the 2 best players on the Devils. Let's just say what it is. Well, if they have a center playing between them, I don't care if that guy's name is Ravishing Rick Rude. I'm taking that guy to get a point. It's just as simple as that. You're playing between Hughes, who has a 1.5 point prop, and then Bratt, who's like minus 190 or so. I'm taking that player because that player is at plus 124. You can get a free face-off win. So you can get a free point off a face-off win, and you're playing in between the Devils' best 2 offensive players. Ooh, Shesterkin might not be playing because on Tuesday they have a little game against somebody that may be a little more worrisome than those New Jersey Devils. So if this is the case and we get Jonathan Quick, yeah, I'm definitely going to take Haula for a point, plus 125. A Haula assist is like plus 260. If Quick is in net, you want a wacky parlay that's high plus money, correlation related. There's a reason I'm giving you these 2 players. Give me the Haula assist with the Jack Hughes over 1.5 points. I wish they were playing a worse team. Rangers, good defensively, and Shesterkin couldn't be playing any better. But Quick has not been Shesterkin. Yes, there was that early season Quick, but he doesn't even really play a lot anymore. When was his last start and how many goals did he give up? I think it was quite a few. So I think this is a good sneaky chance to take the Haula assist with the over 1.5 points for Jack Hughes. That's a pretty fat, like plus 400 something same game parlay. It's no different than what I was doing the Teravainen assist with the Aho 1.5 points yesterday. Same thing. Jack Eichel over 1.5 points, Barbashev assist, same thing. You surround someone with talent, Ravishing Rick Rude point. Maybe that's what I'll start calling it. The Ravishing Rick Rude point for the worst player on that line who's fetching the best price. Hayton, Haula, who's another H. I don't know. But that's what I have for you here on this Monday. Good luck to you. Better luck to me, but I don't know how much better luck we can have after this past weekend. Make sure you guys are subscribed here to the YouTube. I'll put this one out early because I'm in such a good mood after the weekend went the way it did. Do me a favor, subscribe to my YouTube channel, click the notifications so you know when a new video comes out. You know, not many junk videos on here. It's just the ones that you guys probably want to see, like this one. And then like and comment because it helps more people see the Sniffs. Gets me out there. Some of you people are very happy you found this channel. Well, you know, sharing's caring. Don't you want another version of you? Or are you so greedy where you think, more people are going to get these bets, then the line's going to get worse? I greedily want that line to stay slightly better from me. Don't do that. That's bad sniffing karma. So like, comment, do that for me. And then, you know, come join the Patreon and we'll hopefully have more week. Oh, I don't know. That would be way too high of a promise than this past weekend. But, you know, everybody had themselves quite the weekend. And once again, I'm super happy to see. Enjoy your car. I'm sure it will only be a matter of time before you don't have it anymore. I'll see you tomorrow.
What was that ruckus?
I know here, ruckus.
I heard a ruckus.
Can you describe this ruckus?